Peppa Pig at the zoo. Madame Gazelle is taking Peppa and her friends to the zoo for the day. Remember, children, today we will be meeting wild animals, she says. Ooh, cry the children. Don't worry, says Madame Gazelle. The wild animals will be safely behind fences. Roar! Ah! A lion has escaped! Cries Madame Gazelle. Hello, I'm Mr. Lion, the zookeeper. You've picked a good time to visit, says Mr. Lion. It's feeding time. Wow. Which animals live here? Asked Susie Sheep. They move very slowly and live to be very old, says Madame Gazelle. Not all animals eat vegetables, says Madame Gazelle. That's right, Madame Gazelle, says Mr. Lion, grinning. Yes, well, says Madame Gazelle, who lives here? Hello, says Mrs. Crocodile. I'm the keeper in charge of this part of the zoo. Penguins, they eat fish. Ah, a crocodile, cries Madame Gazelle. Look, there's my daddy. He's a keeper at the zoo too, cries Gerald Giraffe. Hello, says Mr. Giraffe. Can you guess what animals I look after? They fly and get all their food from flowers. What are they? asked Peppa. Look carefully at the flowers, says Mr. Giraffe. Flutter, flutter, flutter. Ooh, pretty butterflies, say the children. Thank you for showing us around the zoo, says Madame Gazelle. Hooray! All this talk about food has made me hungry. Me too, laughs Mr. Lion. It's our feeding time now. What's for lunch today, Mr. Lion? Asked Mrs. Crocodile. Can you guess? Roars Mr. Lion. Little picnics in boxes. Yummy! Says Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig Bicycle Race. It is a lovely sunny day. Peppa and George are going out for a ride. Peppa rings her bell. Ding, ding. Come on, George, she says. Follow me. Peppa is riding her bicycle. George is riding his tricycle. Hurry up, George, calls Peppa. You're going so slowly, says George. Peppa sees her friends, Danny Dog, Susie Sheep, and Rebecca Rabbit. They are riding their bicycles too. Danny points down the hill. Let's have a race to the bottom, he says. Danny, Susie, and Rebecca ride very fast. Peppa rides quite fast. George does not ride very fast at all. George is riding a baby bike, snorts Peppa. So are you, says Danny. You've still got stabilisers. Peppa looks down at her bike. It is the only one with stabilisers on it. Let's ride up the hill again, says Danny. No, says Peppa. I think I'll stay here. Peppa asks Daddy Pig to take her stabilisers off. Do you think you can ride without them? He says. I can do it, Peppa nods. I can. She gets on her bicycle and starts pedaling. Uh-oh, Peppa falls onto the grass. Riding without stabilizers is hard. George giggles. It is not funny. Peppa frowns. Daddy Pig helps Peppa to get back on her bicycle. Let's try again, he says. Ready, steady, go! Don't let go of me, Daddy, says Peppa. Don't worry, says Daddy Pig. I've got you. Peppa pedals faster and faster. You're doing really well, shouts Daddy Pig. Peppa looks round. Daddy Pig has let go. Ho ho, he cries. You're cycling on your own. Peppa can ride on her own without stabilizers.
Wow!
She goes to find her friends. Look at me, shouts Peppa. I can ride my bike properly. Danny, Susie and Rebecca all cheer. Hooray! Come on, says Peppa. Let's race down the hill again. Danny, Susie and Rebecca ring their bells. Peppa loves riding her bicycle. Everyone loves riding bicycles. The end. Peppa Pig, A Trip to the Moon. It is a lovely sunny day, and George and his friend Edmund are playing with their space toys in the garden. Oh dear, Edmund's space toy has landed on Peppa's head. She is not happy. Are you going to the moon, boys? Says Daddy Pig. No, says George. It's just boring space stuff for babies, Daddy, says Peppa. It's not real. Space is real, Peppa, replies Daddy Pig. Mummy Pig tells everyone there is a show at the museum that is all about the moon.
Wow!
That sounds fun. Shall we go and see it? Asked Daddy Pig.
Hooray!
George and Edmund laugh. They want to see the show. At the museum, they all buy tickets. Are we really going to the moon? Peppa asks. No, Peppa, it's just pretend, Miss Rabbit tells her. Mr. Rabbit is a tour guide. This way for our trip to the moon, he calls, leading them inside. Prepare for takeoff. When they are all seated in the rocket, a voice booms, Blast off! We live on a planet. Does anyone know what it's called? Mr. Rabbit asks. Earth, Daddy Pig guesses. That's right, Mr. Rabbit smiles. And what is the moon made of? Mr. Rabbit wants to know next. The moon is made of cheese, of course, Daddy Pig jokes. But Mr. Rabbit doesn't find it very funny. No, the moon is made of rock. This is a serious tour, so no jokes, please. It is pretend, though, isn't it? Peppa asks. Yes, Peppa. If it was the real moon, you could jump over my head, Mr. Rabbit tells her. Gravity is what keeps us on the ground, and it is weaker on the moon, so you can jump higher.
Wow!
Some big rubber bands drop down and Mr. Rabbit straps everyone in. Peppa and the others feel like they are jumping on the moon. It is so much fun. Miss Rabbit tells them to say, Moon cheese, as she takes a picture. It is the end of the tour, so Miss Rabbit takes everyone to the moon shop. How about some real moon cheese? Says Miss Rabbit. How much is it? asks Daddy Pig. £5, please, says Miss Rabbit. £5? snorts Daddy Pig. It's all for a good cause, says Miss Rabbit. I like the moon now because it is very interesting, says Peppa, holding a picture of everybody bouncing on the moon. And very tasty, laughs Daddy Pig, eating his yummy moon cheese. The end. Peppa Pig Bicycle Race. It is a lovely sunny day. Peppa and George are going out for a ride. Peppa rings her bell. Ding ding. Come on, George, she says. Follow me. Peppa is riding her bicycle. George is riding his tricycle. Hurry up, George, calls Peppa. You're going so slowly, says George. Peppa sees her friends, Danny Dog, Susie Sheep, and Rebecca Rabbit. They are riding their bicycles too. Danny points down the hill. Let's have a race to the bottom, he says. Danny, Susie and Rebecca ride very fast. Peppa rides quite fast. George does not ride very fast at all. George is riding a baby bike, snorts Peppa. So are you, says Danny. You've still got stabilisers. Peppa looks down at her bike. It is the only one with stabilisers on it. Let's ride up the hill again, says Danny. No, says Peppa. I think I'll stay here. Peppa asks Daddy Pig to take her stabilisers off. Do you think you can ride without them? He says. I can do it, Peppa nods. I can. She gets on her bicycle and starts pedalling. Uh-oh, Peppa falls onto the grass. Riding without stabilisers is hard. George giggles. It is not funny. Peppa frowns. Daddy Pig helps Peppa to get back on her bicycle. Let's try again, he says. Ready, steady, go. Don't let go of me, Daddy, says Peppa. Don't worry, says Daddy Pig. I've got you. Peppa pedals faster and faster. You're doing really well, shouts Daddy Pig. Peppa looks round. Daddy Pig has let go. Ho ho, he cries. You're cycling on your own. Peppa can ride on her own without stabilisers.
Wow!
She goes to find her friends. Look at me, shouts Peppa. I can ride my bike properly. Danny, Susie and Rebecca all cheer. Hooray!
Hooray!
Come on, says Peppa. Let's race down the hill again. Danny, Susie and Rebecca ring their bells. Peppa loves riding her bicycle. Everyone loves riding bicycles. The end. Peppa Pig Babysitting. Mummy and Daddy Pig are going out for the evening. Granny and Grandpa Pig are babysitting Peppa and George.
Hooray!
Granny Pig, Grandpa Pig, says Peppa happily. Daddy eat, Papa eat. George joins in. Good night, says Daddy Pig. Good night, says Mummy Pig. Now go to sleep quickly. What little darlings, says Granny Pig. So well behaved. Peppa yawns and Daddy Pig switches off the bedroom light. Mummy and Daddy Pig leave for their evening out. Inside the house, Grandpa and Granny sit down on the sofa. They share a tasty pizza. This babysitting is easy, says Grandpa Pig. In the bedroom, Peppa does not want to go to sleep. George, are you awake? She whispers. George grunts excitedly. Peppa laughs. She climbs down the bunk bed ladder and switches on the bedroom light. George picks up a spotted ball and bounces it to Peppa. She bounces it back. They both giggle. Soon there are toys all over the floor. It is so hard to go to sleep when playing is much more fun. Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are watching TV. Peppa and George come downstairs to the living room. George and I are not sleepy at all, says Peppa. Can we watch TV with you? I suppose watching a little TV might make you sleepy, says Granny Pig.
Hooray!
The TV show is about gardening. This program is very boring, says Peppa, yawning. She suggests playing a game instead. Grandpa, can you throw us up and catch us? Asked Peppa. Okay, but just one turn each, says Grandpa. Peppa laughs as Grandpa Pig throws her in the air, then catches her. You seem heavier than before, says Grandpa Pig. Now it is George's turn, says Grandpa Pig. George loves feeling like he's flying. Hiya, hiya, shouts George, as Grandpa Pig starts to wheeze. Maybe Grandpa is a bit tired, says Granny Pig. Granny, let's play it, says Peppa. You're it. Peppa taps Granny Pig on the nose. Granny Pig chases Peppa, George and Grandpa Pig around the sofa. I'm going to catch you, she cries. Everyone runs and giggles. Later, Mummy and Daddy Pig arrive back home. I hope our little piggies are asleep, says Mummy Pig. Peppa, George, Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are all snoring on the sofa. The little piggies are asleep, whispers Daddy Pig, and so are the big piggies. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Treehouse. Peppa and her family are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. I'm making you a tree house, says Grandpa Pig. I just need to finish the roof. Finished, says Grandpa Pig.
Hooray!
And I've made some curtains for the window, says Granny Pig. Thank you, Grandpa, thank you, Granny, cries Peppa. Peppa and George love their treehouse. Oh, who wants to go inside first? Asked Grandpa Pig. Me, cry Peppa and George, jumping up and down. Peppa climbs up the ladder. Before I go inside the treehouse, I must take off my boots, she says. Peppa quickly kicks him off, and they land on the grass. Inside the treehouse, Peppa closes the door and pulls open the curtains.
Wow!
I'm in my treehouse, she shouts out of the window. George, do you want to go inside too? Asks Daddy Pig. George nods. Peppa and George hear a knock at the door. Do you have any room for visitors? Asks Mummy Pig. You have to say the secret words first. They are Daddy's big tummy, whispers Peppa. Mummy Pig says the words Daddy's big tummy and goes inside. I think we should have different secret words, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig tries to squeeze himself in, but he gets stuck. Your tummy is too big, says Peppa. Grandpa Pig has an idea. Daddy Pig can climb in through the top, he suggests.
Wow.
Grandpa Pig lifts off the roof and Daddy Pig climbs inside. Then he puts the roof back on.
Hooray!
Peppa and her family are all squashed inside. Everyone gets out apart from Peppa. Granny, I love our tree house. I don't want to ever come out, she cries. Are you sure you don't want to visit me in my house? Asks Granny Pig. No, thank you, says Peppa. In that case, Grandpa Pig and I will have to eat these homemade cookies all by ourselves, says Granny Pig, heading back to her house. Cookies! Cries Peppa. She runs to Granny Pig, who has a plate of yummy cookies. If you want some, you have to say the secret words, says Granny Pig. That's easy. Daddy's big tummy, cries Peppa. Granny gives Peppa a cookie. I still think those are very silly words, says Daddy Pig, taking a cookie too. The end. Peppa Pig and a busy day at school. It's Special Talent Day at school, and Peppa is very excited. She has many different talents, so she hasn't decided which one to share.
Wow.
Maybe I will jump rope, says Peppa, or sing or dance. Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George eat a good pancake breakfast. They get in the car and go to school. Peppa's friends have already arrived. Pedro Pony, Candy Cat and Rebecca Rabbit are there.
Hooray!
Good morning, says Madame Gazelle. Are you ready for Special Talent Day? We'll share our talents this afternoon, but first we have a very busy day. The class practices counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, begins Madame Gazelle. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, shouts the class. Then Madame Gazelle asks the class to name things that begin with each letter of the alphabet. A. Apple. B. Balloon. C. Cake. D. Dinosaur. E. Eggs. F. Fish. G. Guitar. H. Hat. I for ice cream. J for jam. K for kite. L for ladder. M for monkey. N for newspaper. O for owl. P for pizza. Q for queen. R for rocket. S for scooter, T for truck, U for umbrella, V for violin, W for watermelon, X for xylophone, Y for yarn, and Z for Zoe Zebra. Then it's time to play store. Peppa and Susie are the shopkeepers. "What would you like?" asked Peppa. "Do you have any cookies?" asked Danny Dog. "No," says Peppa. "But we do have a toy telephone that will be $1. "Thank you," says Danny Dog. "Do you have a loaf of bread?" asked Pedro Pony. "No," says Peppa, "but we do have a dollhouse." "Well, okay," says Pedro Pony. "What can I buy for $100? asked Rebecca Rabbit. "How about a carrot?" says Peppa. Everyone laughs. Next, it's time to paint. Peppa wants to teach George how to paint a flower.
Wow.
"Make a circle," says Peppa. George paints a green circle. Then he paints a green zigzag line. "That's not right, George," says Peppa. George keeps painting. Madame Gazelle looks at Peppa's painting. "What a lovely flower," she says. "And George has painted a dinosaur. Perfect." At lunchtime, Peppa and George eat sandwiches with Danny Dog. There's watermelon for dessert. There's a new tire swing and Peppa wants to try it out. She squeezes in. "Help!" she cries. "I'm stuck."
Oh no!
Peppa looks funny in the swing, but Peppa doesn't think being stuck is funny. Her friends try to help. They pull and pull and pull. Out comes Peppa. "Let's play on the slide," she says. "It's time for music, music, music," sings Madame Gazelle. "Everyone choose an instrument." Danny chooses the bongo drums. "Look, I've got cymbals," says Rebecca. Zoe gets maracas. Freddie chooses a triangle. And Pedro has a tambourine. Everyone plays together. Boom, bang, crash. "Oh my," cries Madame Gazelle. "That sounds a bit more like noise than music. Let's go one at a time. Then each of you can join in." Ding, 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 goes the triangle. Boom, 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 goes Peppa's bass drum. Bang, 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 go the bongo drums. Crash, 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 go the cymbals. Shaka, 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 go the maracas. "Lovely," says Madame Gazelle. Finally, it is time for special talents. Everyone takes a turn. Danny Dog's special talent is drumming. Bang, bang, bang. Pedro Pony does a magic trick. Everyone closes their eyes and he makes a glass of water disappear. Zoe Zebra sings. Candy Cat jumps rope. "Oh no," thinks Peppa. "Now I can't do either of those. It's a good thing I'm good at dancing too." Then Susie Sheep gets up. "I'm going to dance," she says. "Oh no," says Peppa. "What's the matter?" asks Madame Gazelle. "I don't have a special talent that hasn't been done already," says Peppa. Of course you do, says Madame Gazelle. Think of something you really like to do. Peppa is quiet. She thinks. Then she smiles. I know, she says. She grabs her boots. Follow me. I'm the best at jumping in muddy puddles. Peppa jumps in a muddy puddle. Then everyone jumps in muddy puddles. This has been a very good day at school, says Peppa. And it has. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.